Anytime you capture data from anyone within or outside your organization, there is a possibility that at some point you're going to need to remove that data for regulatory and/or compliance reasons. Most organizations think about doing that in their live environments, but it should also be considered a necessity within your backup data. When we're talking about cleaning data from cloud backup for Salesforce backup content, we can do that right from within the tool on the Data Cleanup tab. On the screen, we have two options: clean the records and manage the data cleansing templates. Data cleansing templates are set up where you can go in and by Salesforce object determine which fields you want to clear out. So you can see we've already got several of these set up. To create one, we would go and click on Add Template. So as an example, maybe I want to do cases. I would select it and click Add. And now we can see all of the various fields that make up a case record. What I will now do is check off which fields I would expect to be cleansed. You can, of course, check everything, which would essentially empty out an entire record of those fields that can be cleansed, but maybe that's not what we want. Maybe we want to clear out anything that relates, though, to maybe some PII, right? People's emails, maybe fax numbers, phone numbers, not the description, maybe not an engineering internal number or the subject. And then we've got additional info on the supplied emails and phone numbers. So I want to keep information about the case, and I would like to cleanse everything else if that's the type of request that came in. Something like a right to be forgotten, where we have to purge that individual's information. I will then click Save. And we can now see we have a case template. Please note, if your intention is to, when you perform these types of operations, simply clean out the entire record, all fields that can be cleaned, you do not have to do a template. You'll see in a moment that when you go in to actually run this type of job, all is a choice. So now that I'm ready, I can go back to my data cleanup page, and we can go into Clean Records. You can either search or import a CSV, which targets this information. If you had many records that needed to be cleansed, and there was not a single search parameter that would allow you to find all of them, doing this through a CSV import would be easier. But in our case, I'll leave it on search. And if we are looking to cleanse cases, enter in how you want to find this case and click search. Locate the records in question that need to be cleared, and then click Next. Here is where you can see what you selected on the previous screen, and here is where it's going to be either based on the template that we created for cases, or as I mentioned, if we hadn't created a template, we could just leave it set to all. At any point, you can click the View button to essentially preview the different fields that will be cleansed. So you can see, again, if I select all, it shows me that everything is going to be removed. And if I was to do that by selecting based on template, it would pull that up and show me also those fields that I had not checked. And there we go. One more choice to make. Do you want to export the original field values? If you can keep that data somewhere in a secure location and you are legally allowed to do that, you can see you have the yes option, which is the default. You could also switch that to no if you either are not legally allowed to do that or it's not something that you're actually interested in doing. And when you're ready, down at the bottom, you would click Run. So it will locate every instance of that record across all of the backup data and clear out those fields. Now, of course, keep something in mind. Later on, if you need to restore that record, well, you've cleansed all of those fields from all of the backup data, every instance of that record being backed up, so when it restores, you will not be able to restore what has been cleaned. That's a good thing from a legal standpoint, but of course from a working standpoint, if you're looking for whatever reason for some of that data, you had to legally remove it, so it is no longer there in your backup data. Thanks for watching this short video on how to clean up records in your backup data using AvePoint Cloud Backup for Salesforce.